Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am hoping that you all can hear and see me this evening. I had some issues last evening, although I did do the live stream. I was not everyone was not able to see it. So I think tonight we should be good and you should be able to see it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Come into the room. Come in, come in, come in. And join me for tonight's conversation. Please join me for tonight's conversation. So we are continuing our conversation from last night, and I am looking forward to having this conversation once again. So come in, settle in. We won't be long, but I have some nuggets for you that I want to share with you on tonight. And so, as you're coming on, if you would put in the chat where you are from, and I would love to know what has interested you or interests you in in being a part of this conversation. So, as you come on, if you would go ahead and put that in the chat for me so that I can know who you are, know where you're coming in from, and just what your interest is in this conversation tonight. All right. So, welcome. I am Dr. Michele, and I am your transformation strategist, and I assist professional women who are wanting to get promotion or change their careers or even start their business. But I assist professional women to be bold, and that is to break through obstacles to lead in their destiny. And we do that by helping them to reconnect with their true selves, by rediscovering purpose and passion, realigning with values and strengths, and doing a reset so they can move from where they are to where they want to be with authentic confidence. Hi, Marie. I'm so glad you could make it tonight. So, yes, from Atlanta. So, I will see you the next time I get to Atlanta. And hopefully, it'll probably be after it gets cold now because I don't travel when it's cold. But hopefully, in April, I will be back in Atlanta. So, glad to have you here tonight. So, as I said, we do this by helping women to reconnect with their true self. So they rediscover the purpose, the passion, realign with their values and their strengths, and then do the reset so they can move from where they are to where they want to be. And so that's who I am. I'm Dr. Michele, and I assist women in that way. And so last night and tonight, and then on Wednesday and Thursday this week, I'm talking about what is keeping you from the pivot. So, just talking about what are some of the things that we tell ourselves or some of the things that we believe that keep us from moving forward. And so, last night, briefly, we were talking about just thinking that you need that degree, right? Thinking that, well, I don't have the right credentials. And really, the reality is that a lot of times, if you don't have the right credentials, either your experience will speak for you and you can move up with your experience, or you can move into a position and your organization may even help pay for you to get the degree that they want you to have. I work with students all the time who are in positions already that they want to be in, working in the social work field, and they have an organization that's encouraging them and helping them to get the degree. But how did they get into the position in the first place? They got there because they had the experience, they had what it took to be able to do the work. And then the degree came after. So, telling yourself, I have to have this degree or I'm not going to be able to move into this position, That is a myth. It does not always mean because you want a certain position that you have to have a certain degree. And so that's what we talked about on last night. And the other thing that I said last night is, if there's a position that you're interested in, or something that you are desiring to do, talk to the people who are doing it. Talk to the people who have 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 worked in the position. Talk to them about what it takes. What's it going to take for me to move into this position? And I don't have a degree right now. And people will help you, but you've got to be bold, right? You got to be courageous enough to step forward and say, hey, I need some help. I need some maybe mentoring, or I need some guidance. So the first myth is that you have to have a degree. Not true. There are ways to move forward, and maybe get the degree later, or even ways to move forward without the degree. Now, there's a lot of certifications out there that you can get, and things that you can do to increase your knowledge and your skill set and your understanding in the areas that are of interest to you. So that was part one. So, part two tonight, and this one is more about our belief. And I know Marie can relate to this because we talk about belief a lot. But it's about our belief. And the myth is, I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes to do that. And that is not true, because, yes, see, Marie said her position typically requires a higher degree, but she is declaring what she wanted, and she's meeting the people, and she's in a higher position than she thought. That's it. That's it. You've got to know that myth number two, when we say I don't have what it takes, you've got to know that you do have what it takes. And it's about belief. It's about being able to have the belief that you can do something. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about when I first started teaching. So I was a single mom, and I was looking for some extra income. And I told you part of this story last night, but I was looking for extra income, and so I ended up doing this adjunct teaching position. But what I didn't say last night was that when I went in that classroom, I was petrified. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never taught in a classroom before, never taught in higher education. And I was just taking these materials that somebody had given me, and I was just like going and doing it. And really, my driving force wasn't that I wanted to be a teacher or a professor in higher education. My driving force was that I needed some extra income. That was my driving force. But the beauty of it is that I found out I did have what it took. I had what it took to be a good instructor, to be a good professor. And I can say that now, 20 years later. I've been teaching for 20 years. And I never did I see on my radar myself in higher education. But God used the gift of teaching that He placed in me to allow me to move into the place where He designed me to be, so that He could train me and grow me in the gift. And so you have what it takes. You may just not have tapped into it yet, right? And so we have to begin to tap into what's already in us. And part of what I do in my program is I help you to develop your strengths. I help you to identify them and to develop them so that you can move forward in those strengths that you already have. Know what they are, leverage them, use them to your advantage, right? And so, even though I didn't realize that that was something that was in me, I forged ahead for a different reason. But I want you to forge ahead because it's what you desire, because you've prayed about it and you know that this is what you desire. And the enemy may be telling you you don't have what it takes. But if it's what you desire, if that thing is in you, then best believe God has put the gift there for you to do what He's designed for you to do. And so that's what part of what we do in my program, in the Bold Voice program, is we work through those fears and those negative messages that we've said to ourselves, that have kept us stuck and kept us out of the places where God has really designed us to be. Okay. So I really want you to begin to forge ahead and move forward in what you are called and designed to do. And so I've put in the chat, I've put um, the link for you to schedule your bold voice discovery call. So the program is bold voice, and in bold voice, these are some of the things that we work on, helping you to break through and have the confidence to be able to go ahead and forge ahead and move forward in what you are destined and designed to do. So this one other tip that I want to give you as it relates to that, and part of also what we do in the program, is that it's so important to be self-aware. And Marie knows this. We talk about this all the time. But a lot of us are walking around and we don't know who we are. We don't know what we have to offer. We haven't really tapped into the things, the thoughts, the emotions that hold us back and that keep us from moving forward. And so it's important to develop your self awareness. It's important to do that. It's important to have those times of reflection. It's important to identify what's going on with me. Why is this going on with me? What has gone on today? What am I thinking about? And understand yourself. Understand who you are. And when you begin to understand yourself and who you are, you will recognize the desire that's already in you to be in the place where God's designed you to be, and you will move forward. But self awareness is a process. And again, something else that we work on a lot in the Bold Voice program. And this is all to get you to the place where you have the courage to go for that promotion, to change your career. I just worked with a client recently who decided that she wanted to forge ahead with starting her business. And it took a brave decision on her part to step out of the job that she was in and step into this business idea. And by the time we finished, she was well on her way. She had some things already in place. She had a date of launch for her business. She was moving forward because she recognized through the process who she was and what she had to offer. And she was able to heal from some things that were really holding her back. And that's again what we do in Bold Voice. So I have the link to my discoveries scrolling here at the bottom. I've also put it in the comments as well. And if it's not there, I'll make sure that it gets there so that we can talk, we can have a conversation about how Bold Voice can help you begin the process of really believing in who you are, dispelling that myth that you don't have what it takes, but seeing who you are and then beginning to put your plan in place to move ahead. Okay, so that is what I want us to have a conversation about. So go ahead and schedule that discovery call with me, that Bold Voice discovery call with me as soon as you can. So again, last night we talked about just, the degree. I need the degree. And we dispelled that myth. You don't necessarily need the degree, right? A degree can be gotten different ways. It doesn't mean that you have to have it to move forward in what you want to do. And then believing that you don't have what it takes when really you do. I found out I had what it took, right, to be a good instructor, a good professor. And over the years, my evaluations, my teaching evaluations have shown that to be true. My presentations have shown that to be true. But I had to believe it. I had to learn to believe it. And so for me, again, I had a different motive for moving ahead. But I want you to have the motive that this is what's in me, this is what I desire. And I want you to move forward in that belief that if it's in you, God's placed it in you, and there's the gift there for you to work it out. Okay. So What's keeping you from the pivot? It's not that you don't have a degree, and it's not that you don't have what it takes. So, those are the first two things that we are saying. That's not a reason not to forge ahead. So, I encourage you really work on your self awareness, work on knowing who you are. And I really want to help you with that through the Bold Voice program. So I really want you to get on and schedule that Bold Voice Discovery call with me. So I am loving this. I'm loving having these conversations with you. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you didn't get a chance to watch on last night, it is on my profile page on Facebook, on my profile on LinkedIn, and you can go back and listen to myth number one, which is, but I need a degree. And that is in and of itself a myth because you don't. That may be something you can get later, but it's not something that should stop you from moving forward right now. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I know it's 9:15 and people have to get up for work in the morning. And some of you may be watching this in bed, and that's great. But thanks for joining me. I hope that you are encouraged to know that there are some ways that you can begin to move forward. And really, tonight is about believing, really believing that you do have what it takes. And I hope my story inspired you to know that even when you don't think you have what it takes, if God's put it in you, He's given you what you need to be able to forge ahead. So we are going to talk again tomorrow evening, same time, 9 p.m. And we're going to talk about myth number 3. What's keeping you from the pivot? So thank you for joining me tonight. I cannot wait to talk with you tomorrow night. And let's focus on being self-aware. Let's focus on talking to people who've been where we are or where we're trying to go, and they're already there, and getting the information that you need to be able to go forward. So yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Marie, for being here tonight. And I hope to see you back tomorrow evening as well. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm Dr. Michele, your transformation strategist, and I am here to assist you to be bold, to break through those obstacles, those myths that lead to your destiny. So I will look forward to seeing you again tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for part 3 of What's Keeping You from the Pivot. All right. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow.